are fast. I think John Hunter's got a good truck. Noah Gregson was fast in practice. Ben Rhodes was good. And how about Chase Briscoe sitting on the pole? So I think we got a lot of guys that could win this race.
And we'll crown a champion as well. 201 miles, 134 laps. 4 drivers, 1 goal. Let's send it to Homestead-Miami Speedway. Vince, Phil, and Michael, enjoy the race, everyone.
It is title time. The 23 race season comes down to this one final race. Homestead-Miami Speedway, the champion is determined tonight. 4 drivers have survived the playoffs and will decide the championship. Oklahoma's 22-year-old Christopher Bell leads the series in nearly every statistical category, seemingly a can't-miss star. He made it to the Final Four a year ago and came up empty. Tonight, he gets another chance. North Carolina's Austin Cindric is a rookie, and some might consider him to be a long shot, but don't tell that to the 19-year-old who has defied the odds at every turn. Where Cindric is short on experience, Matt Crafton has a wealth of it. The Californian is about to make his 407th consecutive start. The 2-time series champion feels like he's playing with house money. The smart bet just might be on Johnny Sauter. After winning the last 2 races, Sauter arrives in Miami with momentum. The Wisconsin native won last year's title and looks to become just the 2nd driver in series history to win back-to-back championships. Great to have you with us tonight, and you heard it, 4 unique storylines and certainly intriguing in every way, and it's going to be fun tonight. With Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. But let's take the 4 one by one, and tell me, Michael, why is Austin Cindric going to win the championship?
The teenager from North Carolina, Vince, is a long shot. That means his team can take chances. They can shoot from the hip, use some strategy on pit road to try to get in a position late to win this race. Plus, he's fast. That 4 today in final practice had lap times that were as good as anyone on the track. I think they take that gambling attitude and that fast forward and do something special tonight.
Michael, but he cannot beat Johnny Sauter. He comes in here with momentum. He's won our last 2 races. He won 2 of the last 3 mile-and-a-halves. There's no way to beat Johnny Sauter. And how about, if he's not going to win it, how about the 4 of Christopher Bell? Christopher Bell has dominated the mile-and-a-halves this year. Look at his record here. His worst finish on the mile-and-a-halves is 4th. And he's won 3 times. He's going to win the race tonight and the championship.
What about Matt Crafton? Been there, done that. He's a 2-time champion, the only one that has 2 of those championships in the 4 battling for this victory. And plus, I just love his attitude. They struggled today in practice. Their truck wasn't where they wanted it to be, but he got it together and was fast at the end of practice. I know that he's got a chance to win this race tonight. He's going to rely on that experience and make it 3 championships.
How about if one of our championship finalists don't win the race tonight? Who do you like?
I think Ben Rhodes puts the heartbreak from last week aside and wins this race.
Bookend it. Kaz Grala started in Daytona with the big win in Florida. He's going to finish tonight with one here in Miami.
But you didn't pick the pole winner. How about Chase Briscoe, runner-up 3 times this season, starts from the pole tonight. Maybe tonight is the night he gets his first win.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Homestead Air Reserve Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Sammy Flores from Christ Fellowship offers our invocation.
Let us pray together. Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful evening that you provided for us tonight. Lord, we pray that you would be with the drivers, keep them safe, and bless their families. And Lord, we pray that you would bless our military. We thank you for those who serve and the families, for those who have given their ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We pray that you would bless them. Bless this evening. Bless this great country. We ask all of this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Miami native and contestant on the X Factor, Felicia Traynor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Get ready to go. South Florida, Homestead-Miami Speedway, getting ready to determine a champion.
Another great season for the Camping World Truck Series.
The championship on the line.
We could be legends after all. We could be legends after all.
They are absolutely dead even for the top spot.
And we can be free. We can be anything in life we want to be. We can move mountains. We can break walls. We can stand tall enough to fight and never fall. We can be legends after all.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Racing here for the 22nd time. It's the Ford EcoBoost 200, the championship race of the 2017 playoffs. Now, the season began at Daytona, Florida. 287 miles to the south. We are now at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and tonight, a champion will be crowned. With Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. Our pit reporters are Caitlin Vincey and Hermie Sadler. Good evening, Hermie.
Good evening, Vince. What a year it's been for Chase Briscoe. He did not make the championship 4, but a solid rookie season nonetheless. 3 times this year, he's finished second. For the 4th time this year tonight, he is on the pole. In the last couple months, he has learned his race team, Brett Keselowski Racing, will not compete in 2018. He's also lost his crew chief, Mike Hillman Jr. They went to KBM. What do? They come to Homestead, qualify up front. They look to end this season in victory lane. Caitlin?
Well, Hermie, another driver who could potentially spoil the playoff party is Ben Rhodes. I had a chance to talk with his crew chief, Eddie Traconis, a bit ago. Asked him if they're going to race that 19 truck any differently based on what transpired between them at Phoenix. He said, absolutely not. We are not here to ruin anyone's day. We are here to win this race and prove why we should have been in this championship 4. So far, they have looked really good throughout the course of the day. Qualified second for this race tonight. Vince?
There have been 12 different winners this season. Remember, the championship 4, they don't have to win the race to win the championship. They just have to beat the other 3 championship finalists. Certainly something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, whether it's the championship race or the race for the win.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, F-150 Product Marketing Manager, John Rieger.
On behalf of Bill Ford Tough Trucks, drivers, start your engines!
443 fired up, I'm ready. Crank when ready. Radio check when it's fired, radio check.
Love that sound. How's it going to play out now for the 4 drivers that have earned their shot at the Camping World Truck Series Championship? No one is going to challenge Matt Crafton. He will go to victory lane, winning at the Big E. Austin Cindric wins at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
All right, great job, great job.
It's the 4 truck, his 4th win of the season.
Woo, good job, boy.
Johnny Sauter is going to win at Phoenix for the first time.
Hell yeah!
It's an absolutely beautiful night in South Florida. 32 trucks lined up, fired up, and just about ready to roll for the championship race, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series 2017 season. Talked a lot about the drivers. Let's talk a little bit about the track with our Camping World track description, Michael?
The length of this track, Vince, in the NASCAR world is pretty common, 1.5 miles, but the shape of it certainly isn't. It's the only symmetrical track we run. You can see the progressive banking in the corners makes that grip at the top of the track, what all these drivers will be racing for.
A Camping World race analysis.
You see this race will be run in 3 stages. The first stage, 40. The second stage will end at lap 80, and then the final stage will end at lap 134. You see our pit window somewhere between 50 and 55 laps. These guys will be wanting tires at about 20 laps. They'll be screaming for tires. And William Byron won this race last year, his 7th win of the season.
Let's take a look at our starting lineup. We qualified earlier this afternoon, and Chase Briscoe out of the Brad Keselowski stable was your pole winner. Ben Rhodes will start alongside on the front row. Cindric, one of our championship finalists, and Grant Enfinger in row 2.
Got Noah Gragson, already a winner this year at Martinsville, back in row number 3.
Justin Haley's been fast, and there's one of our championship contenders, Matt Crafton. Stuart Friesen, he's going to be fun to watch. Dirt racer from Canada. This place slickens up. Might have to watch that 52 truck.
Johnny Sauter there, back in row number 6, one of our championship contenders.
Yeah, Christopher Bell in row 7, a surprise, didn't qualify nearly as well as we or he had anticipated.
Dalton Sargent makes his 2nd start in the 99 truck.
16 rows of 2, 32 drivers, and of course the 4 that have the chance to win the championship, but those other 28, they all have a goal tonight. Let's visit with some of the crew chiefs that are going to be put in a tough position tonight, and we'll begin with Caitlin.
Well, Rudy Fugel's calling the shots for Christopher Bell. You guys qualified 13th, so how aggressive are you going to be right from the drop of the green flag to make your way through this field?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to Tony Hirschman and Christopher to see how good our truck is, and we'll pick our spots. I think we'll be aggressive, and then we'll be cautious. It should be 4 pit stops tonight, and it's a long race. You know, it's a big race. All comes down to one thing here, so everybody at KBM, JBL, Toyota, try to represent them well.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Hermie.
Well, Caitlin, Joe Shear Jr. is the crew chief for Johnny Sauter. You guys, Clint State Championship here last year, starting 19th. Tonight, you start 11th. What will be the key to winning championship number 2?
Well, you know, it's saving tires, being good on your tires, having a set of tires at the end. It's going to be the winning deal. Obviously, a good handling race truck is going to be a deal, and we all worked on it hard, from everybody at GMS to everybody here that goes on the road. You know, we put our best beats together, and we brought it here, and thought we had a truck that was going to sit on the pole, but we got a little loose in the 2nd round and starting 11th, but I think we got a good truck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Vince?
It's going to be fun tonight to watch this race from so many different camera perspectives, including some special onboard looks.
Yeah, why don't we just ride along with Christopher Bell here. It's so good on the mile and a half this year. You heard Rudy Fugel say they're going to feel it out and see what their truck will do. Christopher will start that JBL Toyota from the 13th position.
Lots of hop on board the 11th place starting Johnny Sauter. That's Joe Shear Jr.'s driver there. He's going to roll his ISM Connect Chevy, looking to win back-to-back championships and his 3rd race in a row tonight.
Why don't we ride along with Matt Crafton, who's going to try to win his 3rd championship, and join Jack Sprague as a 3-time champion. And we're also going to ride along with him with a visor cam. That's going to be a great view. We're going to watch what Matt watches for 134 laps.
Let's go up toward the front, hop on board with our Ford onboard camera with Austin Cindric, the kid from North Carolina, the teenager, doesn't have anything to lose tonight. He's looking for a championship. I think is in a great position.
How about our championship 4, our 4 finalists, and what they have done in the playoffs to get into this position to race for the title tonight?
Look at those average finishes and those top 10 finishes. There's no secret to why these 4 have transferred to this race to have an opportunity to race for this championship.
But boy, what wild action we've seen along the way to get them to this point. Johnny Sauter had 2 crashes in the playoffs and was able to survive those. So many different twists and turns along the way for these 4 to be able to vie for this Camping World Truck Series championship.
Let's listen to some team communication for the 88 of Matt Crafton, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Spit meals all night, dude. We're better than every one of these dudes right here. We'll knock it out of the park in here. You stick your thing out there. No friends. Bring it home.
How about that? No friends.
Knock it out
Do you
of the
need
park.
some friends tonight or not?
No, not really. You don't have to worry about drafting partners. So absolutely, he's on his own. He's got 2-3 teammates if he absolutely has to have somebody, but they're on their own.
The only friends he has or needs are the ones that are wearing those yellow uniforms down on pit road. We have to be flawless on pit road. We can't make any mistakes tonight.
I know that every driver, whether you're in the championship 4 or not, you've got your own agenda, but do you give those 4 finalists a little extra room throughout the course of the race tonight?
I think you do. I don't think anybody wants to be out here and say, you took so-and-so out of an opportunity to win a championship.
And I'm going to disagree. We know how these truckers race. They're young. They've got so much desire and energy. I think they race everybody just as hard as they can. Now, certainly they don't want to take someone out, but I don't see them cutting many breaks along the way.
Thank you for a great 4 years at KBM. It's been fun. Hey guys, this is what it's all about here. We brought our best teams, we got the best pick crew, we got the best driver, and the best spotter. Let's do what we've been doing all year. Let's finish this thing off and take the trophy home again. I appreciate everybody's hard work. Everybody, thank you.
It's going to be a team effort, that's for sure. Again, the 4 championship contenders: Austin Cindric, Matt Crafton, Christopher Bell, Johnny Sauter. The 29 of Chase Briscoe, the pole winner, has chosen the outside. Ben Rhodes on the inside. The championship race at Homestead-Miami Speedway is green. Chase Briscoe right to the point, 2 wide for second, and here's Matt Crafton coming around the outside, up top.
Matt Crafton knows there's some grip on the outside. He's going to drive around the outside of Truex.
What a nice run. What a great start for Crafton.
How about Crafton? He started 8th. He's already up into the 3rd spot. We completed 1 lap.
Remember last year, Matt Crafton was our only championship contender to lead this race.
On board with Austin Cindric.
Cindric dropped back to the 7th position, Vince, after a not so great start, getting freight trained on the outside. John Hunter Nemechek in that 8 truck. He's trying to get around, as in Noah Gregson in that 18.
The restarts are always a little crazy. We see 2, 3, sometimes 4 wide on these restarts. It's an opportunity to make a move, but it's also a time when you can get caught up in something. For these championship drivers, does it take a lap or 2 to get the nerves kind of settled out, or are you good to go right out of the gate?
I think once you crank the engine on pit road, you're ready to go.
But I truly think Austin Cindric started right behind Ben Rhodes. I don't think he wanted to push the issue on that initial start and take Rhodes 3 wide. Let's just try to tiptoe into the start of this race, see what kind of truck we got, see what kind of adjustments we might need in order to have a faster truck. But let's not force anything too early.
And a nice pass right there, Michael, on the 18 of Noah Gregson by Austin Cindric in the 19.
I'm telling you, this truck in the long run today was as good as anyone on the track. And the way he ran at Texas, that made me make Austin Cindric almost my favorite for the race tonight.
Consistency has been the key for Cindric reaching this position and an opportunity to run for the championship as Ben Rhodes dives down and takes that position. But Cindric has had top 10 finishes in 14 of the last 16 races. Had a little bit of a handful right there.
Yeah, he did. Had a bit of a wiggle there.
I think he had a notion to cut to the bottom and try the crossover move on Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes and Austin Cindric 1 week ago, controversial contact on the track. It cost Rhodes a chance to win the championship or advance to this race with a finalist position, whereas Cindric is the one that got that final 4 spot. So it'll be interesting to watch Cindric and Ben Rhodes race around one another tonight. Caitlin.
Well, you guys are talking about Austin Cindric, and I had a chance to talk with his crew chief, Doug Randolph, earlier, and he said with Brad Keselowski Racing closing their doors at the end of the season, you would think that that would cause this team to potentially potentially lose their focus, but he said, you know, the exact opposite has happened. Everyone is more motivated than ever as we've continued to make our way through these rounds of the playoffs. The morale has continued to improve and given everyone purpose at that race shop, and those Fords, both the 29 and the 19, have been very strong all throughout the course of today. Hermie.
You see the 88 of Matt Crafton starting to put some heat on the 29 of Chase Briscoe. Crafton qualified 8th, but he told me before the race, I actually feel really good about what we've got. We qualified on tires that had different date codes than what we practiced on. We basically tightened our truck up too much. But as you can tell, they've made good adjustments to start this race. He wants to lead.
I was talking with Junior Joyner, the crew chief for Matt Crafton, after practice, and he said, well, it certainly didn't go the way we wanted it to go, that's for sure. But do you feel confident that they've got that sorted out?
I felt confident when I heard Matt Crafton interviewed after qualifying. He knew he had something that he could race them with. And when you hear that positive talk out of Matt Crafton, you can just book it. He's going to be up there battling for the win. And I feel really fortunate and lucky that we've got this view. Check out riding on Matt Crafton's visor of his helmet, watching him work that Toyota over in the corners.
You remember the very start of practice this morning, Michael, when we were riding along, watching this view from this visor cam? His hands were a whole lot busier then. That truck is handling a lot better than it was this morning on a pretty grippy racetrack.
And you know, Phil, the reason why I love this camera angle so much, it not only shows you how he works the wheel with his hands, but it also shows you what all's going on with that truck bouncing around. And remember, the bouncing, the buffeting that's going on for Crafton, he has to not only drive that truck, but sort through what he's feeling and report to his crew chief, Junior Joyner, on what type of adjustments he needs to get even faster yet.
There's Christopher Bell in the 4, making the pass of Noah Gregson. Remember the two of them, teammates, racing side by side for the lead last week at Phoenix, got together with just 7 laps remaining, and Gregson ended up in the wall.
I talked to both Rudy Fugel, crew chief for Christopher Bell, and Marcus Richmond, crew chief for Noah Gregson, about that. And they said the bad thing was, and take a look at this, is what happened. They were racing side by side for a number of laps. Finally, the 18 of Gregson got a little bit loose underneath and took out Christopher as well. Christopher went on to finish the race. He said the bad thing was our guys weren't able to hang a banner in Kyle Busch Motorsports shop knowing we were the winner of that race at Phoenix.
Right now, Bell running in the 7th position, and that's Ryan Truex up top in the 16.
Good early move for Christopher Bell, moving well up from that 13th place starting position.
A surprising performance in qualifying. Thought that Bell looked to have one of the best trucks from what we saw in practice, and then qualified 13th, but he didn't seem too concerned about it afterwards. No real concerns for Chase Briscoe. He's leading at Homestead. Aerial coverage for tonight's championship race brought to you by Jegs. What a beautiful view it is of Homestead-Miami Speedway.
What a beautiful night it is for a truck race as well. These conditions are perfect for these truckers. The track will just continue to get faster and faster throughout the night.
Our championship 4 all in the top 10. In fact, in the top 8, as you see.
And remember, Christopher Bell started all the way back outside the top 12, 13th position. Johnny Sauter's got a nice move going on now as well, as he's caught Ryan Truex. He can't make that move, but he's challenging him for it.
How about that move by Christopher Bell? He was able to get by Austin Cindric on the last lap, just past Ben Rhodes there. Now he's racing Matt Crafton for the 3rd position.
Bell started 13th, and he is on the move early. Tucks in right behind the tailgate of Matt Crafton. Remember, it wasn't too long ago, Crafton was up banging on the back bumper of Chase Briscoe looking for the lead, and now he's lost second to Grant Enfinger, and looks like he's going to soon be in the clutches of Christopher Bell.
Phil, if this track gets loose and these drivers go right out next to that outside wall, you'd almost want to give the advantage to Christopher Bell with his dirt track racing experience, being able just to hug that outside wall, kind of like leaning on the cushion in a dirt race. But you remember how Matt Crafton won Eldora. He got up next to that wall. He had never done that before in his experience there, and he used that lane to win that race. He's probably going to see where Bell goes right here and understand that if he's going to win tonight, that could be a necessity. Get right out next to the concrete.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. And again, remember our leader, Chase Briscoe, he's very comfortable for the same reasons that Christopher Bell is, running right up against the fence.
Look, Bell just made that pass of Matt Crafton look easy, and he's since pulled away from Crafton a little bit. How about Johnny Sauter? He's back in the 8th spot, Hermie.
And Vince, has been very difficult to pinpoint just how good Johnny Sauter is. This morning at practice, first practice, he was top of the chart. Second practice, he struggled. First lap of qualifying in round 1, he was fast. Second lap in qualifying in session 2, he had slowed way down. So they have fought the balance of this truck all day long. Right now, he's telling Joe Shear he is very, very loose, especially when he gets to the middle, to the bottom of the racetrack, as he's doing right now, trying to pass the 16 of Brian Truex. He is struggling in traffic because of a loose race truck.
And you know, Hermie, as we talk about running different lines and the dirt racers running high, and where does Johnny Sauter fall on that spectrum to you, Phil? He's a guy that usually we see down near the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, I think so too, and he's trying to make that bottom work to get by Ryan Truex. Hasn't really been able to make much ground up. We saw Ben Rhodes, the 27, get a little bit loose there down to the other end of the racetrack. Here's Austin Cindric now. We're riding along in this Ford onboard. These guys' lap times have slowed down about 2 seconds from the initial start of the race, and we're 20 laps in.
Thought that'd be one of the intriguing aspects of this race, is how these trucks handled as the tires started to fall off. Who was going to be better on the longer run? Christopher Bell and his team seemed confident that they were going to have a good long run truck, and it seems like maybe that's coming to fruition here with just about 10 laps left in stage number 1, or 20 laps left in stage number 1.
Just run your regular, get a good run off so you can get a good pull up there. Don't burn your tires up on the bottom. By 1 by 3. Hit your mark. Good work, big dog. Keep learning. Way better than these guys. Make it count when you get there.
I will say to Big Dog, he is way better than these guys. 3 or 4 tenths a lap faster than the rest, and he's running that groove right out next to the wall. We know that's the fastest groove, and Christopher Bell's so talented. I'm confident with him running up there next to it and not causing any damage to his truck.
Michael, you told us in the track description that the corners are banked from 18 to 20 degrees. That 20 degrees is up there where Christopher Bell is. That's where the grip is on this racetrack, and he's found it.
Some racers aren't so comfortable up racing right up next to the wall. Christopher Bell comes from that background of midgets and sprint cars where you've got to ride it right up on the wall lap after lap after lap so often. And it's not something that Bell is uncomfortable with, but your margin of error is minuscule when you're that close to the wall.
Remember, Christopher Bell won the Xfinity race a few weeks ago at Kansas. That's where you had to run that race right up against the wall, and he was able to comfortably do it and get the win.
That's a dirt racer's dream, isn't it? Tell me the groove's right by the fence. I'll take advantage of these boys.
But Bell is still on the hunt. He's chasing Chase Briscoe. Briscoe is your leader at Homestead-Miami. Chase Briscoe has led them all from the pole tonight, all 28 laps. And there he is in the 29 truck, just ahead of the 4 of Christopher Bell. And you see an upper left-hand portion of the screen there said 12 laps to go in stage 1. And remember, as we identify our Championship 4 at the top of the screen, the Championship 4 stage points don't come into play in this race. For the Championship 4, it's all about finishing ahead of the other 3 at the end of the race. You're not accumulating stage points during the course thereof.
Bill, if you're Rudy Fugle, crew chief for Christopher Bell and his spotter, do you pull the reins back on him right now and say we're okay right here?
Yeah, I think
no sense in pushing the issue.
We got in the comfortable spot here. We're riding behind Chase Briscoe. We don't need to run up against the wall because there's such a little margin for error up there. We've driven away by 4 seconds over the next truck, which is Grant Enfinger running in 3rd, and we've got a great cushion, about 7 seconds over our nearest championship contender. Let's ride here a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. How do you pull the reins back on a kid?
Well, he's 6 inches from the wall, so I guess he's not totally away from the wall.
But keep watching, keep learning, keep dissecting where we need to be a little bit better. We don't have to pass him, you know? Just be smart, take care of the right side, take care of your truck. Doing good.
Communication there from Rudy Fugle, and also the first voice you heard was the spotter, Tony Hirschman.
And you know,
take care of the right side. That's what this is all about right now. Let's get through 2 stages, and even if we've got to follow this 29 truck to the checkered, we're going to walk away here with a championship.
I remember the championship finale last year for the Xfinity Championship, and all 4 of those championship contenders had the right sides beat off of those cars.
Yeah, but isn't it hard to just kind of run conservatively and be patient, and when you're always on charge?
That's when you need that crew chief and that spotter, and you have to respect their opinion, and you gotta listen, because there's a championship on the line, Vince. You just try to go up there and show the baddest boy in town, the big dog, and you tear your truck up doing so. That's a hard night to sleep afterwards.
I don't know how you can be any more calm than Rudy is sitting there on the pit box on the left side of your screen.
Here's Austin Cindric in the 19, Matt Crafton in the 88, a battle for 5th, a couple of championship contenders.
What I'm going to be interested to see now, Phil, we're getting down to the end of this stage. What kind of adjustments do these other crew chiefs make to their trucks? Christopher Bell has driven around. Everyone he's racing for the championship obviously has a better truck than them at this point in the race. How hard do you work on your truck? What adjustments do you make? And can you make enough of a difference on pit road to get your driver back in contention?
We saw Austin Cindric, we're riding along with him now on the Ford onboard, try to make his way around Matt Crafton, wasn't able to do it, and actually cost him a spot. Matt's going to leave the top lane open for Ryan Truex to drive by.
Bell for the lead on Chase Briscoe.
You think that's a situation where Michael, where Christopher said, let me try it one corner here. Let me really drive this thing down in there one corner and see if I can do a slide job and make the pass on Chase.
I think this just shows you what a confident young racer is behind the wheel of that Ford truck. He's confident that he's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to get that truck into the outside wall.
Bell and Briscoe coming up now on the 63 of Chris Windham. The 3 of those guys very familiar with one another in their short track racing experiences. There's Windham up there at the top lane in that orange 63.
It's funny you say that, Vince, because during practice today, the first truck running a foot off the wall was the 63 truck of Chris Windham, and he's currently running in the 21st position, so he's having a steady, solid run in that 63 truck, and you can see he likes the high side. He was able to hold off Bell there.
There's 2 starts for Windham this season. Would like to participate in more, but taking the opportunities as they come.
See Christopher dive down to the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see if he can gain some momentum on Windham. Windham is really running a pretty good pace up there on the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, he's battling right behind Bell, TJ in that 45 truck.
Bell has led laps at all the mile-and-a-halfs, all 9 of them this season. He has just been phenomenal on the mile-and-a-half tracks. This team, that's right in their wheelhouse.
His average is 2.2 in the 8 mile-and-a-half races that we've had this year. And again, as we said at the top of the show, has not finished worse than 4th in any mile-and-a-half this year.
Matt Crafton running 7th, squeezed between Austin Cindric and Johnny Sauter, Hermie.
Since the last time we showed the 88, he was trying to take the lead from the 29. He's now dropped back to 7th. His truck is very loose, and to make matters worse, his team and spotter are encouraging him to move up the racetrack, and the further up the track he goes, the looser he gets. So they're going to have to make major changes on pit road to give the 88 a chance. Another championship contender that's very, very frustrated is the 21 of Johnny Sauter. He is wrecking loose. He needs to make adjustments when he comes to pit road. This is Sauter talking on the radio to his crew chief, Joe Shear.
I mean, I'm history, man. History. Junk.
We've heard this before from Sauter. Joe Shear trying to calm him down. They're going to make an air pressure and a major track bar adjustment when the 21 comes down pit road.
How discouraging is that if you're in the seat like Johnny Sauter is?
Well, I think it's pretty discouraging, but he knows if Joe Shear can tune that thing up a little bit and make it a little bit better, then his attitude's going to change remarkably.
Yeah, and I think that's just Johnny's MO. He's going to make sure Joe Shear understands that he's in trouble and he needs a big adjustment. The crew chiefs always kind of make their adjustments based on the level of frustration from their drivers and knowing their drivers. That's why that communication, that camaraderie between the driver and crew chief is so important. You got to check your feelings at the gate and just work on the truck when it's as bad as Johnny says his 21 is.
1 lap remaining here in stage 1 as Christopher Bell continues to lead by almost 3 seconds. Stretching it out over Chase Briscoe, who led the first 33 laps of the race. But right now, Christopher Bell's got it on cruise control.
Look at the lead he's already opened up over Chase Briscoe in about 5 laps since he passed him.
I want to give a shout out to Chris Windham. He was able to get around the 44 truck of Self. He's going to be the first guy lapped down. What a great run Windham's having here in that orange truck coming off 4 there behind your winner, Vince.
Christopher Bell, the stage 1 winner. His goal is to win a championship. He's taken the first step here tonight. Great jump for Bell. Dominating performance. This is Bell's best corner. Congratulations to Christopher Bell with the win at Atlanta, Kentucky, New Hampshire.
We could be legends after all. We could be legends after all.
Stage 1 is history, and Christopher Bell is your stage 1 winner. He started 13th. Methodically just moved his way up. Chase Briscoe, our pole winner, led the first 33 laps, and then Bell, once he got there, followed Briscoe for several laps, and then when he put the pass on, he did so with ease and then just pulled away from Chase Briscoe. A dominating stage 1 performance from Christopher Bell. They're coming to pit lane for the very first time. See what these championship contenders do. Caitlin is there waiting.
Well, Austin Cindric has dropped 3 spots since the start of this race. He said, I'm good in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I am super loose, so just tighten me up a bit. The call is for 4 tires, fuel, and a track bar adjustment for the 19th. For Christopher Bell on the right hand of your screen, he said the balance, honestly, really good. I think the strong point we have right now is being able to turn the center and drive off good, so don't make it too loose. Rudy Fugle making the call for 4 tires and fuel for that 4 machine. Hermie.
Johnny Sauter been very animated about how loose his truck is. It's going to be 4 tires, fuel, and a track bar adjustment. Basically the same for Matt Crafton in the 88. He is too loose to run the line he needs to run on the racetrack and bad in traffic. 4 tires, fuel, and a track bar adjustment.
Pretty tight on exit of pit road for Matt Crafton as well. They all want tires, but boy, for those championship contenders, you definitely want to make some changes on that truck if you need to work on that balance. Nice job by Austin Cindric's crew. Picked up 3 positions on that pit spot.
Vince, let's see if we can talk to our stage 1 winner. Hey, Christopher Bell, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Phil.
Well, Christopher, that truck looks so good. Vince and Michael and I were talking during the commercial break. How you managed to qualify 13th with that truck that's lightning fast right now?
Well, this 1.5 miles is a lot different than any other 1.5 miles we go to. So I guess we just brought the right package here where we didn't have speed to qualify, but man, this thing races really good right now.
Thing looks awfully good, buddy. Keep it up.
Thank you.
This truck is nicknamed 38 Special. It's obvious it's been very special tonight as Christopher Bell has made his way from the 13th starting position to the front of the championship race in Miami.
By definition, a champion is the one who surpasses all rivals in competition. But it's more than that, right? For some like me, it takes us back to a moment. Maybe just one, or more than a few. But what is it about these moments that capture us? And in turn, help define our legacy? Is it the trophy, or is it the triumph? Maybe it's the perseverance and grit. Or perhaps it's just too difficult to put into words. Because the word champion is reserved only for those who realize the dream. After a season filled with twists and turns, spins and surprises, victories and defeats, 4 drivers remain in the quest to be named champion. Some for the first time, while others seek a repeat visit to the top of the podium. Fact of the matter is, whether you are the champion 1 time or 7 times, it never gets old. Trust me. This is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and tonight, we crown a champion.
So well said. The depth of that one word, champion. It has so many layers to it. watching the Ford EcoBoost 200. And right now, Christopher Bell looks like he's the guy to beat. He has been fantastic through the first stage. Even though Chase Briscoe led 36 laps and Bell led just 10 in that stage, Bell came from the 13th spot and his truck looked like it was on a rail compared to everyone else's. Interesting here, remember last week the contact between Austin Cindric and Ben Rhodes. It's what kept Rhodes from advancing to the championship 4 and put Cindric in that position. And here they are getting ready on this restart. Opposite situations, it's Rhodes right behind Cindric this time.
And I hope Cindric is thinking about that, just making sure that he understands the intensity of this restart, how it might get jacked up. If Ben Rhodes gets a good start, I don't think he'll hesitate to go 3 wide down into turn 1. Cindric just needs to be ready for it.
All 4 of our championship contenders in the top 7 as we restart. And Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell side by side into turn 1.
See Rhodes stick his nose down to the inside. He drives under Cindric. He's
Briscoe
going for the lead.
Briscoe on the outside and Rhodes on the inside. 3 wide for the lead at Miami. Here comes Cindric. Bell just got swallowed up. Rhodes isn't going to be able to get Briscoe just yet, and now Cindric has moved up to 3rd.
That's just good, intense, hard racing here in Miami.
Rhodes isn't done yet. He goes for the lead on Briscoe through turn 1 and gets it.
So you give these crew chiefs an opportunity to work on these trucks. They can change some things.
Just think, Phil, Rudy Fugle in the Ford truck, he probably said, we're good. This truck's perfect. Everybody else works on their truck, closes that gap.
Now Austin Cindric ahead of Christopher Bell. Cindric is the highest running championship contender, and there he is with his teammate Chase Briscoe. Cindric, the 19-year-old, on the inside, and in that 29 truck is Chase Briscoe. They both drive for Brad Keselowski Racing. Well-known story, the doors are closing after this race, and how they would like to win a championship and win a race, maybe both in the same night, for their team owner, Brad Keselowski.
That was aggressive, wasn't it?
Sure it was. Among teammates.
Cindric moved up in front of Briscoe, and Briscoe tried the crossover. He's going to get chewed up.
Ooh, little contact there, wasn't it?
Hit by Bell.
You can make that bottom work for a few laps when the tires are new.
How about that contact at what, about 160 mile an hour there?
Look at Matt Crafton. He looks like he got an adjustment that he likes as well. That's Truex in the 16 truck running 5th. Crafton tried to take it away.
Christopher Bell right up to the top of the racetrack where he made all those passes. Let's take a look at that contact just a moment ago. Look at the closure rate here, Vince and Michael.
By 3 out back.
I think he was thinking about going to the outside, and then when Chase faded to the outside, he switched over to the inside and just mistimed a little bit and nudged him a little.
Yeah, luckily wasn't anything more than that. That could have very easily, with some little more significant punch into the back end there, could have caused Briscoe to go around and maybe collected Bell in the process. Watching on board now the visor cam of Matt Crafton, who is running 6th.
Okay, he had his hands full there, trying to run down through the bottom of the racetrack.
I think Crafton had closed right on Truex, but that truck got loose with him, and look at the ground he lost. Talked about momentum earlier, Phil. If you get hooked up around the top of this racetrack, it's incredible how much more speed you can go down the straightaways with.
Behind Crafton is the 21 of Johnny Sauter, who is up to 7th. Taking a look on the inside of Crafton. That's the highest up Sauter's been since starting 11th. Didn't make much movement at all in stage 1, and you heard that radio communication with his crew chief Joe Shear Jr. where Sauter was just saying, I am wrecking loose, got to do something with this truck.
Yeah, I think Joe Shear's made some positive gains on this 21 truck. We'll see if it has long run gain or not.
And that's the key, isn't it? The long run gain. I mean, these 40 lap stages, and with the tires, the way they go away so quickly. I mean, if you don't have some good long range staying power, you're not going to be any kind of challenge at all.
And the reward you get for that long-range speed, Vince, you get to restart up front. And when the race is winding down at the end, you better have some darn short-range speed as well, because the restarts are so intense. We saw Bell there lose a couple of spots on the restart, even though he was the dominant truck early.
You know, at the beginning of the show, we talked about the two young guys vying for the championship, Bell and Cindric, and then we talked about the veterans, Crafton and Sauter. And look, there's the two young, the 19-year-old Cindric, the 22-year-old Bell on the left-hand side of your screen battling for position. And back here, the 41-year-old Matt Crafton and the 39-year-old Johnny Sauter battling for position.
You would think it would be switched, wouldn't you? That the veterans would be racing towards the lead and the youngsters would be battling back beyond.
Caitlin.
Well, right before that restart, Rudy Fugle reminded his young driver to be aggressive on that restart, knowing Austin Cindric was right behind him. But now that Cindric is ahead of him, he has been telling his driver, hey, stay in the ball game, don't overstep it. We are way better than him on the long run.
There's that patience we were talking about earlier.
I couldn't agree more, Caitlin. They are way better, and it's just a matter of time before Christopher Bell pulls this pass off.
But remember, right now, Austin Cindric is learning. He's learning how to run the high side. He hasn't done that much of it in his career, but he's learning right now. See if we can see that contact just a moment ago. There it is, right there, off turn 4.
I don't think Bell anticipated Cindric not swinging all the way out by the wall there. Just minor contact, but that right front corner of the truck is very sensitive to the aerodynamics. So have to watch that and see if Christopher Bell starts to report maybe his truck's getting tight after that slight contact.
Christopher has already made contact with 2 of his competitors, both from Brad Keselowski Racing.
This is the difference maker. His ability to go high and make passes and make moves. We've watched Johnny Sauter for the last 10 or 15 laps try to get around Matt Crafton. He's faster than Crafton, but he can't get it done on the bottom. I think that Bell's playbook is bigger than the rest because he can work both low and high.
Is there technique to that, or is it just a comfort level?
It's certainly a technique. I always used to enjoy running high, and I don't think anyone could ever really explain to me exactly why it works so well. But I think, Vince, the key to it is being able to learn how to enter the turn really high. When you enter in the middle of the track and try to slide up, it isn't effective. When you're able just to roll in high and roll around the top, that's how you make the best time.
Ben Rhodes continues to lead at Miami. Going to commercial, but you will not miss a lap.
Got kids 12 and under? Come to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and any kid under 12 gets in free. Get your tickets. After 35 weeks, 22 tracks, and over 13,000 miles, it's all come down to this.
Martin Truex Jr., he's guaranteed a spot. Into the final turn, Kyle Busch will win. Kevin Harvick, he is locked into the championship 4. Brad Keselowski trying to hold on. Big guy, buddy.
4 contenders enter. 1 leaves as champion. The 2017 NASCAR Championship.
The adventures are limitless. Hitting the open road, exploring new trails, finding that next big catch, and making new memories. For over 50 years, Camping World has been the camper's choice in experiencing the great outdoors. Start your next adventure in a new 2018 Coleman travel trailer, starting at $109 a month. And let Camping World help you say hello to a whole new world. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter today or online at campingworld.com.
Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Don't stop me. Having a good time. Don't stop me. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
If we get to Homestead, we got a good shot of getting Roush back in victory lane.
I felt like we can win every race this season.
Number 1 for William Byron comes at Iowa.
To think you can be in the hospital one year and another racing for the championship is a dream come true.
When things are going your way, you have to make them really count.
Justin Allgaier back to victory lane.
Ben Rhodes has a score to settle after having his championship hopes crashed last week at Phoenix, and he wanted to come and do this one for the Thor Sport organization. By the way, the Thor Sport organization with their 500th Truck Series start tonight. So congratulations to Duke and Rhonda Thorson, who've contributed so much to the Truck Series over the years, and what an accomplishment. 500 cumulative starts.
Yeah, that's terrific. What a great couple they are, and so good for the series, as you mentioned, Vince.
Let's check in downstairs with Hermie.
Silent night, obviously, Vince, for the 27 of Ben Rhodes. Qualified well, got off to a little bit of a sluggish start on the initial start, but good work on the racetrack. Pit road in a really start after the end of the first stage is with the 27 up front. That truck was a little bit on the free side, but since he's been out front, obviously in clean air, much better. He's driving away almost 3-second advantage over the 4 of Christopher Bell. Now the 88 of Matt Crafton, he is one of our championship 4. We reported him being very loose prior to the first pit stop. Well, they made major adjustments, and that's helped a little bit in the center, but the problem is he's still loose on entry, but more importantly, still very loose on the exit. So the crew chief, I get overloaded too much on the right rear of my truck and it snaps loose on exit. So he still does not have the drivability that he knows he's going to need to contend for a win.
Take us into the seat with those characteristics of the truck that Hermie was describing, and what does that feel like for a driver?
It's just frustrating because you try to run the line you want, you try to be smooth, and the thing just snaps with you. The back end just drops out from under you, and you start looking for different grooves. You saw Crafton low the last time. This time he's up in the middle to the high part of the track. Same result, turning back to the right, trying to keep that truck under him. The only thing that I could suggest is maybe he just tries, like we said earlier, entering just a little bit higher, maybe a groove up. I think he's attempting that right now and seeing if he can get that truck settled on entry and then just fire off the turn.
See a great run for Chase Briscoe up off the corner. Drives right by his teammate Austin Cindric. Right now, Ben Rhodes, as Michael, is doing exactly what you talked about. He's entering high, running high all the way through the corner, and that's why he has over a 3-second lead now on Christopher Bell. There's grip up top and there's speed up top, but you have to have a truck capable of running up there.
And you also have to decide if it's worth the risk, running that close to the wall lap after lap. Ben Rhodes is putting on a clinic right now, running that high line, and he's not made one mistake, and he's leading this race because of it.
Christopher Bell is the highest running of our championship 4. Austin Cindric in that 19 truck is second of the championship 4. Caitlin?
Yeah, and by all measures, it's been a really smooth day for that team from practice to qualifying and now the race. And his spotter currently helping him, telling him the leaders are migrating higher and higher up the racetrack. That 4 has good grip in both lanes, just letting you know that when you ran his line, you gained a truck lane.
It's been such an impressive ascent for Austin Cindric and how he has performed as the season has rolled on. So impressive.
Yeah, the last 14 races, he's finished in the top 10 13 times.
Regardless of how this shakes out tonight, I mean, it's been a far more accomplished season from Austin Cindric than I believed he was going to have at the beginning of the season.
Well, I think so too, because he had such little experience. Really, Chase Briscoe, his teammate, was in a similar boat. At least he ran the full season last year, as we see Johnny Sauter try to make that pass on Austin Cindric for the 4th spot. Chase was able to run a full ARCA schedule, so he was probably better prepared. But Austin Cindric just continues to get better and better and be so much more impressive.
Got to be somewhat encouraging now for Johnny Sauter after they had certainly a handful with their truck in stage 1. Seems to be getting better, or has gotten better since the adjustments. He's up to 5th and making his pass on Cindric for 4th.
Yeah, he's making it work. Remember Vince earlier, he said, I'm history. Well, he's not history anymore. He's living in the present and moving forward. He's going to get pushed up high, though. In this corner, he doesn't really like running the high part of the racetrack, it doesn't appear. He's going to make it work, though.
Joe Shear's going to have another opportunity to work on that truck in about 10 more laps. And he made a major improvement with that first adjustment at the end of stage 1.
When Johnny Sauter clears traffic, Vince, he runs the fastest laps on the track because he goes right down there where he's comfortable, where he wants that truck to handle that, and he's making it work. That's impressive. Takes some discipline, Phil, to run that low line because you really have to roll off the gas early in order to try to get it turned in the center.
You saw the 63 of Chris Windham, like he was not under power as he was on the bottom of the backstretch there, trying to make his way toward pit road. Big wiggle there from the 19 of Cindric.
And look at the 16 of Truex. He's filling that hole left by Cindric.
I was just going to say, we haven't had a yellow. We haven't had a caution other than the stoppage between stage 1 and stage 2, but no incidents on track to bring out the yellow so far tonight.
Truex took advantage of that, Michael, when the 19 got sideways trying to get by the 21. There it is right there. He lost that momentum again sideways and opened up the top of the racetrack for Truex.
He got sideways and stayed sideways for quite a while. And looks like Truex has really got that 16 truck dialed in. He's going to call up Johnny Sauter and try to take that spot.
Ryan Truex in that 16, one of those drivers that has knocked on the door of his first career win, was second at New Hampshire in the very first playoff race this season. He's been in the neighborhood of the first victory, but just hasn't gotten there yet, but it's just a matter of time. Might not be tonight, but it's coming.
Remember, the reason he didn't make the playoffs was on a tiebreaker with Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes had a second place finish and Truex had a third place finish in the same race at Pocono, and that's what put Ben Rhodes into the playoffs.
Truex again trying to work on Johnny Sauter for fourth and gets the spot this time. Ben Rhodes to lead. He's led 26 laps. Chase Briscoe led 38 to start, and then Christopher Bell took over, and then to begin stage 2, Ben Rhodes shot out of a cannon.
You got that
to the front.
Vince, his crew chief Eddie Traconis, they must have made the perfect adjustments for him. He's very comfortable in the high line, entering up high like we talked about, and hugging that wall all the way around. This is textbook. That's the way you run the high groove at Homestead.
I thought when Christopher Bell got some clean racetrack, he may be able to gain a little bit on this 27 of Ben Rhodes, but he's actually lost his second in the last number of laps.
Michael, you mentioned Eddie Traconis, the crew chief for Ben Rhodes, and that has been a really strong combination, those two. Traconis has done a phenomenal job, I think, atop the box with that team.
And you know, when you watch this kid Rhodes run that line like he's running and driving away with the lead, as a crew chief, you're like, heck yeah, this kid can get it done. That's not an easy task to do what he's accomplishing.
There's the 0-2 of Timothy Peters. First time we've had an opportunity to talk about Timothy. Good to have him back in the series, racing in the truck series again, and he's inside the top 10, just got past Matt Crafton for 7th.
Remember, last year he was one of our championship 4 when we came here to Homestead for Red Horse Racing.
What an impressive run for Peters, huh? That one-on-one truck, a decal company that Timothy works with, and they put a nice paint scheme on that 02 truck. It looks really good, and it's running even better. Up to 7th.
Chad Kendrick calling the shots for the 02 truck. They've already announced they're going to run a full season with Austin Hill at Tyler Young Motorsports next year, so a lot of good things in the work for Tyler Young Motorsports.
Yeah, and I was talking to Tyler yesterday at the garage, Phil, and he said they hope to add another truck. They want to run 2 trucks, so doing a nice job with this kind of performance. Heck, they might want to add another.
Well, let's get some sponsorship for Timothy Peters so he can join this organization on a full-time basis.
The pits are closed, as they always are in the final 2 laps of a stage. Ben Rhodes continues to lead, and the next time he comes across the line, there will just be 1 lap remaining in this stage. And here comes Rhodes right on the back end of the 13 of Cody Coughlin. So the final lap here in stage 2.
That's one of Ben's teammates at Thorsport, Cody Coughlin, coming off that great 3rd place run at Phoenix last week.
Yeah, and Rhodes probably won't push the issue here, Phil. He's got a big gap over 2nd place Christopher Bell. Coughlin is on the lead lap, running back in the 18th position, so looks like Ben will just let him stay there, not take a chance on trying to squeeze up or make a move with this stage victory well in hand.
Off turn 4. Christopher Bell won stage 1, and now Ben Rhodes is your stage 2 winner. Ben Rhodes isn't in the mix for the championship, but he's trying to make headlines just the same. It's the championship race for the Camping World Truck Series. Stage 2 is complete, and you see our championship 4 and the progress or lack thereof for the 4 contenders in the second stage versus the first stage. But Christopher Bell, once again, as far as our championship 4 is concerned, is furthest up the line. But you like the improvements that you saw from Sauter and Cindric's trucks, and even Crafton's got a little bit better in stage 2.
I think so too. I think Johnny Sauter was the one that made the major improvement. Obviously Ben Rhodes is good, but as far as their championship contenders, I think Johnny Sauter has made the most improvement since the start.
Well, as they come to pit road, we'll check in with Kate.
Well, for Austin Cindric, he said it fired off pretty solid, but my rear tires lost grip quickly. I can't run the bottom, still too loose in 3 and 4. The call is for 4 tires, fuel, air pressure adjustment, and a track bar adjustment for the 19. Now, Michael, you were asking if maybe that Ford truck was going to get tighter because of the contact with Austin Cindric, and that's exactly what has happened. He said definitely tighter this run, but overall I feel pretty good about the balance. Call is for 4 tires. Hermie.
Johnny Sauter's truck was tighter for the first 20 laps, but still loose at the end of the run. 4 tires, fuel, and an air pressure adjustment for the 21 to 88. A lot of frustration on the radio between Crafton and his crew chief. A huge wedge adjustment to try to tighten up Matt Crafton.
Chase Briscoe, first one off pit road, picks up a couple of spots.
For the second time, his guys won the battle off pit road.
And there you see it, just edging Ben Rhodes for the lead. Let's see if we can talk to that stage 2 winner, Mike.
Yeah, let's see what Ben Rhodes has to say. Hey, Ben, it's Michael Waltrip and the boys in the Fox booth. Do you copy, bud?
I've got you, Michael.
What an awesome restart and textbook running the high line. You've done a great job tonight. Have you got the truck under you to finish this deal off?
I believe so, but clean air is so important to manage tires, so I need to get back out front here, hit my rhythm, and I think we'll be okay. I was trying to run the Kyle Larson line there. I watched a lot of his in-car footage, and so far it's paying off.
I would say check that box. You had the Kyle Larson line down perfectly. Great job. It's been fun watching you, bud.
Thank you.
So exciting to watch Kyle Larson do it in the Monster Energy Cup Series, referencing how he seems so magically to be able to run right up against the wall. We'll see if Rhodes can keep it up. Johnny Sauter is going to bring it home. He's going to win at Texas for the 4th time. Sauter clinches a spot in the Final 4 at Miami. Christopher Bell bringing it through turn 4. A dominating performance. Bell opens the postseason with a victory at New Hampshire.
Thank you, guys. Hell yeah.
Austin Cindric, that's his 13th finish in the top 10 in the last 14 races.
Matt Crafton, his 14th career win in the Truck Series.
Woo! Come on, boys.
Hey, check it out later tonight. It's Premier Boxing Champions here on FS1. Former world champion Anthony Durrell battles Dennis Douglin. All begins tonight, 10:30 Eastern. Premier Boxing Champions right here on FS1, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Not good news for Ryan Truex. He is being penalized for a crew member over the wall too soon. The Jackman right there, Michael.
You can see the Jackman over the wall too soon. Truex is not to the line yet. He has to be over that line before the Jackman can land. That's a mistake that's going to take Truex out of the top 5 position.
Came off pit road in 5th, and now we'll have to restart at the tail end.
About the radio communication of the 19 of Austin Cindric.
Take a look up there. I know you don't want to run up there, but a half a truck width off that wall is really rubbering in both corners. Them guys are really, the 27 just about ran that whole stage up there.
Copy that. I'm only going to go there if I have to.
It's Joey Meyer, the spotter for Austin Cindric, communicating, and we talked about how some drivers don't feel comfortable up there. You got the impression there. Austin doesn't feel comfortable running that line.
But I got to tell you, Vince, we got to try. It's where the speed is. It's how he's going to have to win this race. And you can't just decide to flip a switch and go up there. You got to perfect it. You got to train yourself to do it. Might be getting to that point where he has to go up top.
Briscoe and Rhodes on the front row. Bell and Cindric in row 2. The third and final stage of the championship race is underway in Miami.
What a great restart by Chase Briscoe.
Christopher Bell looking on the outside of Ben Rhodes.
Remember how lightning fast Rhodes was on that last restart? Was able to rocket to the lead. Looks like he's got the speed to do it again.
Briscoe, and now Rhodes dives underneath. Christopher Bell going around the outside. Made a Briscoe sandwich there, but Rhodes is the new leader. Takes it away from Briscoe.
Briscoe's able to make some good ground on the bottom with those new tires. Gets back in front of Bell.
Remember, Michael, as Ben Rhodes told you on the radio, that clean air is so important, and that's what he's got right now. Boy, he looks so good in that stage, too.
Well, you can tell how desperately he wanted it, too, Vince. He attacked right off the bat to grab the lead.
Lots of traffic deeper in the pack as everyone sorts themselves out after that restart, but it is go time. We've got less than 50 laps remaining to decide the championship.
See Matt Crafton running up high here with that visor cam, getting by the 24 Justin Haley. Matt's running high in the racetrack, but there was another lane above him. And I went right back to the white line.
Our 4 championship contenders right now running 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th. Crafton in that 7th spot. Justin Haley taking a look down there on the bottom. That's Noah Gregson in the 18 you saw, and up to the front is Ben Rhodes being pressured by Chase Briscoe for the lead.
Both these drivers very comfortable running the high line. Again, they don't have to go up there yet. They get a few laps on the tires, and I think that's when the grip's really going to show up on the high side.
Yeah, you can run low in the middle of the track with the fresher tires still because there's enough grip in the tires to do it. As the tire grip goes away, they have to go up there and search out that last maybe couple of feet of grip right up next to the outside wall.
Neither of these drivers are championship contenders, but great stories. We had the 27 of Ben Rhodes last week feeling as he was as though he got cheated out, if you will, wrecked out by Austin Cindric to cost him a shot at the championship. And Chase Briscoe, a 3-time runner-up who has yet to win a race this season, seeking his first victory, as you see a good battle between Bell and Cindric for 3rd.
And oh, by the way, that's the battle for the championship. Those 2 guys, along with Johnny Sauter, right behind him, those are 3 of our championship contenders.
And this is just as good as it gets, Vince. I mean, these guys are racing so hard, and they're battling not only for position on the racetrack, they know the ultimate prize lies ahead. And it looks like Cindric has got a nice move down on the bottom.
See a lot of side drafting going on.
Remember what happened to Bell at Phoenix? They were side drafting, and the truck he was racing with got loose and slid into him. He's got to be careful going down and swiping the air off the 19 truck.
And Bell closes the door on Cindric for position. That was a big pass right there.
Yes, it was.
I don't think it's over, though. I think Cindric's a little bit better right now.
Great aerial coverage provided by Jegs. Great view of this battle for the championship lead. The 18 of Noah Gregson, Bell's teammate, with a problem. Got into the wall over in turn 4.
Doesn't look like a lot of damage to that truck. I don't see anything on the right side. Maybe something broke on the left rear.
Left rear tire's down. Yeah. He was running in the 6th spot.
That tire's going to come apart, too.
That tire's already low, Michael.
Yeah, he does a masterful job of saving it.
Amazing. That tire was flat. How about this battle for the lead?
Chase Briscoe. Rhodes not giving it up easily. Pulling back up to the side. Side by side, they battle, Briscoe and Rhodes for the lead with 40 to go.
Don't you think it's so cool? Those 2 don't care about a championship. This is all about pride for your team, winning for your boys.
You know, we said in the open, we talked about the 4 championship contenders, but there's 28 other agendas out there. These two right here are putting it on the line for the win. Briscoe and Rhodes. Chase Briscoe back to the front.
Remember, Vince, you asked if one of our championship contenders didn't win the race, who was going to win. You said Chase Briscoe, I said Ben Rhodes.
Watch this battle on the right-hand side. Rhodes really got up the track, or Briscoe rather, up the track, and look at that back end. How about Johnny Sauter making the move on Austin Cindric now for position into the 4th spot.
How about Joe Shear making that truck better and better for Johnny Sauter? He's had a couple chances to work on that truck now.
You know, Joe Shear is going to remind Johnny Sauter, you said we were history. Johnny's going to say, Joe, you know me. I'm just trying to make sure you understood how hard you're going to have to work on my truck.
Cindric tries the crossover there. Hermie on the 21 of Sauter.
Vince, they're about 70% where they need to be, but Johnny, as late as 1 lap ago, said, I'm still too loose. They're pretty good for 3 or 4 laps on new tires after a restart, but still needs to be more aggressive with the throttle, especially on exit of the corner. So we'll see if Sauter has got enough with what he's got currently to get to the front.
Remember, guys, we're in our window. These guys can make it the rest of the way without stopping. They pitted on lap 83. That only leaves us 51 laps. That should be well in their window. They may not get another chance to work on these trucks.
Yeah, we've not had a caution for anything other than the end of the stage tonight. But if we did get a caution, they'd come.
Oh, yeah.
They would come right now, and they would like an adjustment. Johnny Sauter, once he was able to get around Cindric, can't get away from him.
Sauter and Cindric battling for 4th.
You see Johnny giving Cindric plenty of room.
Look who's lurking behind these two. Crafton is closing ground on this battle.
And watch these two split the 50 of Josh Rayome. Got to get your attention if you're Rayome, and then Cindric right to the bottom underneath.
That was a nice move by Cindric, taking advantage of the slower lap truck who slowed Sauter's momentum. So what do? They find another lap truck, and they split him as well. That's the 15 of Wendell Chavis, and Wendell was in a bind there.
Our 4 championship contenders running in consecutive positions. Bell 3rd, Sauter 4th, Cindric 5th, Crafton 6th.
That's awesome. That's what this playoff system is all about, and that's why this championship Friday night in Miami is living up to be everything we expected it would be.
Bell was able to get that clean air, got around Sauter and Cindric, and now he's opened up a couple seconds over Johnny Sauter, who runs in the 4th spot behind him.
There's our championship leader, Christopher Bell, running 3rd. Caitlin?
Yeah, and his crew chief, Rudy Fugel, just patiently coaching him on the radio, reminding Christopher, hit your marks, make it live. We are not worried about those 2 guys in front of us, to which Christopher responded that this truck is starting to get pretty tight as this run continues on, guys.
And you see on the left-hand side of your screen, Kyle Busch, the team owner, of course, of the Christopher Bell machine.
And he is coaching. He's giving all the information he sees, and everything that experience tells him is going to happen. He's trying to relate that to Rudy Fugel and the whole team, so they're prepared for this next pit stop.
The end of a very successful run for Christopher Bell at KBM. Pretty successful night for Ryan Briscoe, or for Chase Briscoe too.
There is no greater feeling.
There is no greater history.
There is no greater excitement.
Experience, thrill,
Pageantry.
Patriotism.
Celebration.
There is no greater family tradition.
There is no greater dream.
There is no greater race than the Great American Race.
Celebrate the historic 60th Daytona 500. Guarantee your seats at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DayTona500.com.
Look, there's no law that says your truck can only haul gravel. Introducing the new 2018 Ford F-150 with best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, and best-in-class torque. The F-150 lineup has the capability to get big things to big places big time. So bring out your ATVs, your campers, your Palominos. Hey, you're not always working, but your truck is. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Yo, check it out, dog. That was just all hype for me. I mean, you got the walk, you got the stance, but I wasn't really feeling it. You know what? I'm not buying this. You gotta come a little harder, dog. You gotta figure it out. I don't know. Shaky on the walk, carriage was off.
Randy Jackson judging a dog show?
I don't know, dog.
Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Lisa saved by switching to Geico.
Oh, wow. Performance of the night.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
We are Junior Nation.
Junior Nation.
We are
Junior Nation.
We are Junior Nation.
Tomorrow on Fox, it's a Big Ten battle. Two teams with everything to lose.
What a hit!
And everything to prove. The Wolverines look to claw their way past a Big Ten foe.
Down the sideline. Touchdown!
The Badgers continue their fight for a playoff appearance.
Wow! Touchdown!
Michigan, Wisconsin. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
Got kids 12 and under? Come to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and any kid under 12 gets in free. Get your tickets today.
Chase Briscoe continues to lead at Homestead-Miami Speedway. The season finale and the championship four, how are they doing? Well, they're all running within close proximity of one another. Look at that. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Doesn't get much closer than that. Last couple of laps, Christopher Bell has found his rhythm, though, Phil. That Ford truck has been the fastest truck on the track, faster than our two leaders even, so he's liking this thing in the long run.
Remember, the champion is decided by the driver that finishes the highest amongst these four. So you don't have to win, just have to beat the other three. And the driver right now is Christopher Bell in the third spot. Let's listen to his radio and how his team is helping him worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Take care of that right side, still one buffer by 30. Just keep doing what you're doing. If we get to them, we can't lose any time dicing around and messing with them. Run your race.
That's the spotter, Tony Hirschman, communicating with Christopher Bell. Bell will run full-time in the Xfinity Series next year for Joe Gibbs Racing. In fact, he's running double duty here this weekend, running the Xfinity Series race tomorrow.
He has chased down Ben Rhodes in this 27. He's been gaining about 1/10 of a second a lap, maybe even more. And you can see him closing in. And you heard his spotter tell him, let's don't mess with him now. Don't cost us any time messing around with this 27.
Well, 25 laps to go. I mean, they're going to go by quickly, and he's still got some work to do once he does get by Ben Rhodes, if in fact he does.
I think right now all he's concerned with is keeping that buffer over Johnny Sauter, who runs in the fourth spot. Johnny's about 3.5 seconds behind Christopher right now, and that's why his spotter was telling him, don't cost us any time trying to get by that 27 truck.
Yeah, there's times to be patient, and there's time when you have to go. And this is a time where he can't afford to let Sauter gain on him and get there.
And there's no question Bell wants to win the race, but the championship is first and foremost. And as you said, just has to keep Sauter, Cindric, and Crafton behind him. And if he can get past Rhodes, that puts that little bit of a buffer in between the two, right? Between Bell and Sauter.
A vehicle, not only the 3 or 4 seconds, but another vehicle. You know, it's funny, I was talking to Rudy Fugle yesterday. And Michael, you know, Vince, how things change here as we see a good battle with Noah Gragson and Johnny Sauter. Remember, Noah Gragson made an unscheduled pit stop. He's being shown 3 laps down, so he probably has fresher tires than Johnny Sauter. But Rudy Fugle told me that they basically run the same setup that they've run ever since they've been coming here with Kyle Busch Motorsports, and that was back in 2010. He said we've had different drivers. They've won 4 times. Kyle's won twice. William Byron won last year. Bubba Wallace won for KBM, but they've contended every single year since 2010. And Rudy said, Homestead is Homestead, and we run about the same setup.
Yeah, he has, as a crew chief, 2 wins here at Homestead with Kyle Busch, as you mentioned, and with Eric Jones as well. Both of those drivers won with Rudy Fugle on the box.
I can tell you this, as a former racer, running the Ben Rhodes line is much more taxing on you mentally than the one that Christopher Bell's chosen here. That just simple truck length out to that outside wall gives you a chance to really just relax and breathe. And I think that's what Christopher Bell needs to do, is just relax and breathe. He has a big advantage over Johnny Sauter, 5 seconds back to Sauter. So I wouldn't push it. I wouldn't run out next to the wall. I would just keep doing what I'm doing right here.
If Ben Rhodes was really holding him up, then yes, maybe try to force the issue, but he's not. As they're running like this, they're still gaining ground on Sauter and driving away from him.
Still the 4 championship contenders running 3rd through 6th, even though there is that big gap between Bell and Sauter. As we've reached our Camping World 20 to go.
And remember, Vince, half the last 10 races have ended in overtime here at Homestead. So this thing is not going to be over till we see at least that white flag.
Caitlin on the 4 of Bell.
Well, right now the communication between driver and spotter pretty similar to what you were just discussing, Phil. They were saying that 27 truck not going to make it easy for you to go around them, but no need to force it. Let's not put ourselves in a bad spot that could just cause us to get too free, which we do not want that. So just take it easy and run your race. Hermie.
Caitlin was starting to hear some desperation in the voice of Johnny Sauter. About 5 laps ago, he asked his spotter, Tab Boyd, please give me lap times. I'm trying to move around. I need to know if I'm better on the bottom, on the top. Please give me lap times. But they can tell, probably without a caution, they see this championship, their hopes going right out the window.
Less than 20 to go. Time is running out on Austin Cindric, Matt Crafton, and Johnny Sauter.
But Vince, you know, we see these races week in and week out. As the laps wind down, the intensity ratchets up. Right behind this battle between a couple of our championship contenders, Ryan Truex has made his way all the way back up to the 7th position after that pit road penalty. What a great rebound for that young racer.
And guys, while we're watching this battle right here, watching Austin Cindric riding along with him, battling with Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes has closed in to less than a second behind Chase Briscoe.
Here's Ryan Truex making the move inside of Cindric.
This 16 truck is a rocket.
He zinged her down to the corner there, didn't he?
And he made it work. Cleared Cindric. He's got his sights set on Crafton.
Austin Cindric, just 19 years old, was hoping and is still hoping to become the youngest series champion in Truck Series history. Matt Crafton up there in that neon yellow 88, a 2-time series champion, hoping to win that 3rd title here tonight. It would tie Jack Sprague and trail only Ron Hornaday, who has won 4 championships. Those are the accolades that they are chasing, but really most importantly now they're all trying to figure out how to catch Christopher Bell, who is starting to gap them in this championship battle.
7-second lead was a report from Bell to Bell back to Sauter. So that's a good thing to listen to when you're just watching the laps wind down, knowing a championship lies ahead.
Yeah, but Rhodes now within a second of Briscoe, and Bell right there behind Rhodes as well. Rhodes obviously not giving up on his hope to win this race tonight. And how about Chase Briscoe? He has yet to win this season, has yet to win in the Truck Series career. He's just a rookie. His team is closing down. Brad Keselowski Racing closing down at the end of the season. Briscoe has no solid plans for next year. Where is he going to be racing? What's he going to be driving? And here he is in the truck season finale with an opportunity to score his first career win.
But just like always, Vince, look in the mirror, Briscoe. Here comes Rhodes. Here comes Bell. This thing is far from over.
Yeah, they're getting quite a bit larger in that mirror than they were a few laps ago.
Bell taking a look down low on Rhodes.
Rhodes might have scraped the wall there in turn 1. Certainly lost a little bit of momentum. You saw Bell really close in.
I think Bell would love to get by that 27 truck and see if he could chase down Briscoe, but He's not going to force the issue. He knows that the war is to be won here.
And Bell has about a 6.5 to 7 second lead on Johnny Sauter in the championship battle.
Yeah, Sauter's beginning to fade a bit. He wasn't even in the top 5 fastest lap times last time by, so I think we can maybe.
Needless to say, those guys need a yellow, right? I mean, they need a caution to come to pit road, get an adjustment on their truck, and provide the restart that really shuffles things up potentially.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can hope for right now. There's such a big lead. Christopher Bell over Johnny Sauter. Caution is the only thing that's going to close it up.
Look at that line of roads, just right on the entry of the corner out next to the wall, never leaves it all the way around. And when he nails it, he's able to drive away from the Ford truck of Christopher Bell.
Rhodes running second, Bell running third, but that third place truck, that 4 of Christopher Bell, the championship leader, closing in on his Truck Series title that he missed out on a year ago. Made it to the Final 4 last season, but it ended up third in the championship.
What a year it's been for young Bell, huh? He's won about everything that he's raced in this year.
Well, he's from Oklahoma, and the most prestigious race in the background and the type of racing that he grew up with is the Chili Bowl in Oklahoma for the midgets, and over 350 cars last year in January. And for Bell to win that race in his home state says it was the most special victory of his career. It meant so much to him. But I got to believe that winning the championship is going to go right up there with having that Chili Bowl victory and that Golden Driller trophy.
As Michael said, he's won in everything he's sat in. He won the Xfinity race at Kansas for Joe Gibbs Racing not long ago. He also won an ARCA race this year.
On a handful of sprint car races. I mean, it has been a career year for Christopher Bell, and it's 10 laps away from getting even better.
And doesn't he have a midget car parked in his living room?
Yeah, that Chili Bowl. He wins the Chili Bowl and puts the car in his living room. You know you're a single guy when you can put your race car in your living room. Look at Buddy Cisco. He's the crew chief on that 29 of Chase Briscoe, which leads this race. This team had a crew chief change because Buddy Cisco wasn't even the crew chief on this car or this truck when the season began. That was Mike Hillman Jr. Hillman left during the season after Briscoe missed the playoffs.
He's inside 10 to go.
Hillman went to KBM. Buddy Cisco stepped up as the crew chief. And he and Chase Briscoe are less than 10 laps away from Briscoe's first career win.
Now just holding their breath. They don't want to see a caution flag.
Well, I know there's only going to be 7 laps. There's a caution flag.
Oh, without a doubt.
It'll be like
everybody's coming to pit road, and I don't think we'll see any 2 tires on any truck.
Seven laps to go. Briscoe lead. His teammate is Austin Cindric in 7th.
A little frustration and frustration, I guess, starting to surface for the 19 across the radio. He's saying it's really off and getting way too loose. He's 7th, the lowest of the playoff contenders. But talking with his crew chief Randolph, he said, win or lose this championship, I am so proud of the effort this team put forward. I think we surprised a lot of people making it to this championship 4. We have a lot to hang our hats on for what we accomplished this season.
That's for sure, and you got to give a lot of that credit to Doug Randolph, the crew chief. He has brought this young driver along perfectly.
He sure has. Doug's one of the best guys down there to talk to. Really one of the best race strategists that we have here in the series.
Cindric went all the way up to the high side and started running around the top of the track, doing a nice job up there. That time by, he was the 5th fastest truck on the track, so good speed, just a little too little, a little too late.
5 laps remaining. The 27 of Ben Rhodes. Is he out of fuel, Hermie?
He's out of fuel, Vince. Just radioed that it burped a little bit coming off turn 2. He's on pit road. Tough break for the 27. Now, Is anybody else going to have a fuel issue?
Now we have to worry about everybody. I thought everyone was going to be secure. They all pitted on lap number 83. That only left them with 51 to the end. You have to wonder if maybe they didn't get it full on that pit stop.
Or if someone runs out of fuel and doesn't make it back to the pits and brings out the caution. Certainly there's 3 race car drivers that are hoping that that's the case. Truck drivers that are hoping that's the case, because they would love to see a caution right here.
I think Rhodes was definitely speeding on his way in, so getting this thing fired up, he's losing a lot of time. He's going to have a penalty as well.
No fuel pressure yet.
Left-hand side of your screen, Chase Briscoe continuing to lead the race. Crosses the line this time. There will be 3 laps remaining for Briscoe.
What a great race this young man has driven tonight. Just put that truck where he needed it to on that restart after the stage 2 break. Drove around Ben Rhodes and has been able to cushion his lead out to 3 seconds now over
Hermie on the 29 of Briscoe.
I guess this 27 has made Buddy Cisco a little bit nervous. Just told his driver, because he has a little bit of a cushion, but save fuel.
That cushion is about 2.7 seconds. So close to his first career win. Less than 2 laps remaining for Chase Briscoe.
If you can just get back to the start-finish line, take that white flag, and not run out of gas.
He's been second 3 times. He's been so close to victory.
We felt like all season long this 29 truck was going to get to victory lane. He just had that kind of speed and just done a great job this year.
The white flag for Chase Briscoe, the final lap. Not only for Briscoe, but also for Christopher Bell, who runs second and is your championship leader.
And a pretty darn good way if Chase can make it around here to the start-finish line for Brad Keselowski Racing to end their Truck Series career.
Briscoe and Bell, very good friends. And they will have a lot to celebrate and memories to share from this race here tonight at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Chase Briscoe is going to win for the first time in his career, and Christopher Bell wins the championship in 2017.
You guys are the best in the business. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Christopher Bell, your NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion, and he does it with a second place finish. And his buddy Chase Briscoe wins the race, the first of his career. And there they are, the 2 friends saluting one another. What a special night. Chase Briscoe, and you mentioned it, Phil, his team, Brad Keselowski Racing, shutting down at the end of the season. And Chase earlier today said, I'd like nothing more, not just to get my first win, but to be able to send Brad Keselowski Racing out with a victory. To all those guys in the shop and that come on the road each week, so much goes into a winning effort, and to be able to close the chapter with a victory, so special.
What about Buddy Cisco? Just a great guy, hard-nosed racer, been able to help this team get to victory lane. Hermie Sadler, he's got to be one happy crew chief.
Let me just tell you, your team is shutting down. You step into this role. You've always talked about how talented Chase Briscoe is, but this whole team rallied around you to win this race. Why?
I don't think it's me. Brad Keselowski, best owner we've all ever worked for, and you know, as we look back over the last years, we've been a really good second-place team. We brought him home enough hardware, and the one thing we could do is come down here and take him. We didn't get the championship, but we can take home a little bit of chrome.
Let's go to victory lane and have some fun.
I love it.
It's Buddy Cisco.
That Briscoe kid is probably the best race car driver I have ever worked with, next to you, Hermie.
That's quite. That last part I know he's joking, but this guy right here can get the job done, and he's worked for a lot of great race car drivers.
the champion, Christopher Bell, burning it down in Miami. And his buddy Chase Briscoe having a little bit of fun too. Carrying that championship flag, Christopher Bell celebrates the Camping World Truck Series title. By the way, Johnny Sauter, then Austin Cindric, then Matt Crafton in regards to your championship 4. But Bell is the winner. 5 victories this season. We said at the beginning of the show, he led in just about every statistical category. It has definitely been a championship caliber season for Bell. A career year in so many ways, and as he gets ready to leave the Truck Series and move on to the Xfinity Series next year, already with an Xfinity Series win in just a handful of races, the future so bright for this young man, one of the real rising stars in the sport.
Vince, we knew we had the talent. You mentioned he made the championship 4 last year. They paired him with Rudy Fugle and then made some magic.
Celebration is on in Homestead. The Ford EcoBoost 200 from Miami. Chase Briscoe, the winner. Christopher Bell finishes second to win the championship. It's the second Drivers' Championship for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Eric Jones won a couple of years ago. Rudy Fugle was the crew chief on that effort as well. But tonight, the celebration belongs to a couple of good friends, Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe. The smile on Bell, 22 years old, from Oklahoma.
He let them know early in the season, Vince, that he was going to be one of the guys you're going to have to beat for this championship.
Hermie is there with the champ.
Here he is, Christopher Bell, 22 years old, from Norman, Oklahoma. He is the 2017 Camping World Truck Series champion. Morgan, girlfriend here in Victory Lane. Let me just say this one time first. You are the 2017 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Dream come true. This doesn't even describe it. For me to be a KBM as long as I have and to go out as a champion there is something that I'm really proud of, and really proud that I got all of our partners at JBL here to Victory Lane and Homestead to the championship stage, man. They've been with me since day one in my truck career, and really glad we had a lot of guests up here with us. And between JBL, Toyota, TRD, Sirius XM, DC Solar, everyone at KBM, man, these trucks are so good, and they pay so much attention to all the detail that goes into these things, and that's what makes these Tundras so fast. And just speechless.
Talk about the pass for the championship victory. You battled pretty much everybody on the racetrack. Came down to you in the 19 pass you made on him to get in the spot you needed to get in.
Yeah, it was really, really tough racing there. We were really good there at the beginning of the race, and I kept telling Rudy that I needed it to probably be a little bit tighter. That way I could be more confident in the truck, and just got really tight there to fire off that last stage, but it paid off in the long run.
You came here last year with this opportunity, maybe not the favorite, but you had an up and down night that night, but it seemed like you learned so much from that experience. How much did last year help prepare you for this moment?
Well, it was huge. To be able to make the Final Four last year and get the experience that you need to win these things is really important. So once again, I'm really thankful that I get to run for an Owners Championship tomorrow with Joe Gibbs Racing, and it's a dream come true to be standing here, and we got one more tomorrow.
5 wins and a championship for Christopher Bell. Caitlin?
Well, Chase Briscoe had 3 runner-up finishes throughout the course of this season, but today he has earned the top prize here in Victory Lane. A huge celebration for this Brad Keselowski Racing team. Chase, how rewarding is this one for you? It took all season, but you're here. You got a victory.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is just, it's felt like a long time coming. Just so proud of all these guys, you know, to know that they're not going to have a job next year, and we continue to bring really good trucks, even though we were outside of the playoffs. It's just such a testament to how good these Brad Keselowski guys are, and just thank you so much to Ford for believing in me. I know this year hasn't been, I know at least by my standards, what I felt like we could have did. So for those guys to continue to believe in me, I'm just so blessed and so thankful to be here, you know, to literally 2 years ago sleeping on couches, and now, you know, a winner in NASCAR at Homestead. Obviously, wish we were in the Final Four because we felt like, you know, we could have been, but that's part of the circumstances, and just I can't thank Brad and Ford and just everybody that's given me an opportunity, and the Cunninghams, just everybody that's it's been a long time coming, and I just can't thank them enough.
And you've earned Rookie of the Year title. What's that accomplishment mean to you?
Yeah, that's definitely special. You know, a lot of great race car drivers have done that, and just to be able to add my name to that list is certainly special. And once again, just you're only as good as the vehicle you're in, and these guys gave me the best tonight, and the pit crew was absolutely awesome. And lastly, I just want to congratulate Bell. You know, me and him grew up racing video games, you know, 7-8 years ago, and just always thought about this, and to do the double burnout was definitely cool. So congrats to them guys. They definitely earned it. They were the best truck all year long, and I wish we could have raced them, though.
Congratulations. Enjoy it. We're going to step over here in Victory Lane to your team owner, Brad Keselowski. Brad, congratulations on the win. How special is this for you guys, just knowing that you will be closing the doors at the end of this year?
Yeah, well, it always feels good to go out on a high note, but, you know, it's not about me. It's about these guys. Chase Briscoe drove a heck of a race. He deserves a lot of credit. Probably should have had a few more wins this year, and little things didn't go his way, and we probably let him down there at Talladega to not have a shot at the championship. But he proved today that he's a worthy competitor and a heck of a race car driver. And I'm looking at him and thinking he's got a big, bright future behind me, along with Austin Cindric, and happy to just play a role in helping him out along the way.
Thank you. Congratulations. Big celebration down here for Brad Keselowski Racing, guys.
For Ford, it's the 6th victory at Homestead, the first since 2006, and how enjoyable that burnout is for Chase Briscoe. He signed to a Ford contract, doesn't have a ride announced yet for next year, but he's part of the Ford family, and you know, if you're in the Ford garage, you got to be pretty impressed with what you've seen from this kid throughout the course of the season.
It's just been a pleasure, Vince, to watch the maturation of not only Chase Briscoe, but Austin Cindric, the way Ben Rhodes really came on throughout the season, and just the drivers of the Truck Series. They're all so appreciative of the opportunity to get to race, and they all just get better and better. I'm so thankful we get to be a part of watching all that.
You know, when Caitlin mentioned that he was named Rookie of the Year, what a great rookie class we had this year. That was tough competition. Grant Enfinger, Austin Cindric, so many good competitors. Noah Gregson, another one, and Kaz Gralla with a win at Daytona. All rookies.
Well, let's honor our champion now. Part of the champions presentation. Let's go downstairs to Jamie Little.
Thank you so much, Vince. Well, it's the moment that this team has been waiting for all year long. Friends, family, team, they are all together now on this stage. So let's get right to it. The trophy awaits. And right now joining me is the Executive Vice President of Corporate Development for Camping World, Tamara Ward. Welcome back. What a season it has been, and to see this young champion in Victory Lane, what does it mean to you?
You know, it's just wonderful. We first want to thank all of the drivers in the Camping World Truck Series. It was a wonderful season, in particular the 4 finalists for this year. But I tell you what, Christopher drove a wonderful race tonight, and we are so excited to have him win the championship for the first time. It's just incredible.
Tamara, thank you for all you do and for Camping World and what they do for this tremendous series. And now I want to welcome in the NASCAR Executive Vice President, Steve O'Donnell. Come on over here, Steve, for the official trophy presentation.
Christopher, on behalf of all of NASCAR, the France family,
all of our employees, and I think certainly all the race fans out there in the United States who have followed Christopher Bell's career. Congratulations on your championship, and want to present you with a 2017 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series trophy.
And he's getting a big hug from Kyle Busch, one of his mentors, the man who gave him an opportunity. Hoist that trophy. Water is flying. The fireworks. Christopher, I know you've been talking about the race. Come right over here. Let's talk about this championship. You've had a heck of a career so far to come this far. Now you're standing here as the best man, the champion. What does it mean to you to see all these people that have helped you along the way stand around you?
Just to be able to do this for all the guys at Kyle Busch Motorsports and to win the championship for a team that deserves the championship is something that words can't describe my feelings right now, man. To run as good as we have week in and week out, and not just this year, but this whole organization, this whole team has been good for so many years. You just don't want to be that guy to let them down, and really glad I didn't let them down tonight.
Kyle Busch, you just walked up here. He gave you a huge hug. We've heard him on the radio time to time, talking you off the ledge, keeping you calm throughout this championship hunt, but he's been far more than that. What does Kyle Busch mean to you?
He's the best boss you could have. I mean, how cool is it that Kyle Busch is your boss? And it's something that I'm just really thankful for the opportunity to be here. And whenever I first went to Kyle Busch Motorsports, I remember I was so starstruck by him whenever I was driving his late models and I'd be around him. And to win a championship for him is I'm just speechless.
Congratulations. Well, let's talk to your boss man. Kyle, come on over here. What a tremendous job Kyle Busch Motorsports has done over the years, Kyle. But when you see a young talent, I know you're a big believer in developing guys like Christopher Bell. What does it mean for you to stand here and see yet another champion, a 22-year-old champion here in the Truck Series?
It's pretty awesome. You know, it's just a dream come true to be a Truck Series owner and to have as much success as we've had as a young company. And, you know, it's all a true testament to these guys, Rudy Fugle and everybody on the number 4 truck, but more importantly, everybody at home, everybody at Kyle Busch Motorsports that does such a great job working on these Toyota Tundras and making them as fast as they are every year. But, you know, to be able to see Christopher mature and grow and to get into the role that he's in this year from where he was last year, it just goes to show you that these guys develop, and we do a good job of developing these guys. And you know, our first Drivers' Championship, we'll never forget, was Eric Jones. And now with Christopher Bell bringing home our second, this obviously just continues to solidify our legacy in the Truck Series and what we're all about and what we've been able to do. And I couldn't be more proud of Christopher and his family, and congratulations to them. And of course, all the rest of the top 4 contenders that were with us here racing for it today. But we came out on top. So great help and great support from Toyota, great manufacturer that we work with that gets us here today, and just wouldn't be able to do it without everybody involved.
Kyle Busch gives these young guys an opportunity, and now he has to see him move on. He's moving up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and of course he's taking along that championship now, Vince.
Oh, thank you very much, Jamie. Yeah, how about Christopher Belli and really Kyle Busch as well. Christopher wins the championship of the Truck Series tonight. He'll race for Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity Series tomorrow with an opportunity to win the owner's title for that team. And then on Sunday, Kyle will run for the Monster Energy Cup Series.
It could be a really good weekend for people associated with Kyle Busch.
Well, it certainly started off about as good as he could have hoped. What a great performance by that young man. I think I'm more impressed with his patience tonight, Phil. We know he had the truck. He could have pushed the issue and went up there and led a lot of this race, but he was just calm and reserved and just took what the race vehicle gave him, and in the end, it gave him that championship trophy.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the leadership of Kyle Busch and Rudy Fugle, too, because they're just a calming influence on that young man, and he did such a fine job.
Showed that poise tonight in winning the championship. Great jump for Bell. Dominating performance.
This is Bell's best corner.
Congratulations to Christopher Bell with the win at Atlanta, Kentucky, New Hampshire.
We could be legends after all.
beautiful night in South Florida. Homestead-Miami Speedway aerial coverage tonight provided by Jegs. Some great views provided by that aerial coverage. And what a sight it was for Christopher Bell to see that checkered flag fall as he ran second to Chase Briscoe but clinched the championship. A little more frustration though for Johnny Sauter, who was trying to go back-to-back as the champion. He ends up third tonight and short of the championship. Hermie?
Johnny, you sewed up a championship here last year, one position short this year. What did you guys battle tonight with your truck?
Yeah, just really loose with our ISM Connect Chevy. Loosest I've been, and I can't even remember when. But I am getting older, so my memory's not as sharp as it used to be. But just proud of everybody's effort. Can't thank everybody at GMS enough. The Gallagher family, obviously Allegiant Travel, all of our sponsors, Chevrolet, Hendrick Horsepower for a great season. We just, I couldn't run the top. I had to commit to driving straight into the corner and doing it on the bottom and using a little bit of brake. And I could make decent time getting into the center. I just could never get on the throttle and commit like I needed to. So there for a little while, like about 25 to go, we were actually clipping on the forward truck a little bit, but I just burned it off and there's just nothing there. So proud of everybody though. Thank all the guys at the shop. Just one spot too short, I guess, but we had a great year and we'll get to do it again next year, so looking forward to that.
I was going to mention that you did announce next year you'll be back with this race team. How long will it take you to put this behind you and begin to focus on 2018?
It stings a little bit, obviously. But this is hard. I mean, this is tough, and to come down to one race, and obviously the Ford trucks had good speed all year. And congratulations to those guys. Rudy's a good guy, and Christopher's a good shoe, but they just were better than us tonight. They kept telling me they were tight on the radio and we were just way too free, and I just couldn't do anything about it. So Joe and the guys did a good job trying to make it as best they could, and we did get it better. It just was not good enough. So, 2018 is right around the corner, and I'm pumped up. We finished the year strong, and hopefully we carry that into next year.
Caitlin's with Austin Cindric.
Well, Hermie, it was a strong playoff appearance for Austin Cindric in the 19 team. Ended up third there in the points. I heard you say you were really free towards the end of the race. What more did you need, you think?
Yeah, we needed a restart. We were killer on the short run speed, and it was going to be a lot of fun if we had a caution come out. It's pretty rare in NASCAR racing to not have a late race caution, but I had a ton of fun. I mean, running with the 4 there, trying to stay in front of him as long as I can. We knew we were going to fall off really, really loose as the run went on, and just to say we finished third in the standings. I mean, overcome so much this season. I love these guys. I'm over the moon that the 29 won the race. To have BKR go out in style, have Chase finally break through and get a win, it's a huge deal. I got to thank all our partners, Draw Tight, Ford, Fitzgerald Glider Kits, LTR Printing. Everyone's made this happen for me. Finished third in the championship in my rookie year, my first year stock car racing. I mean, I run the fence in the last 10 laps there. That's something I've never done. So I'm really excited. And new Star Wars game came out today, so I'll be doing that all off season.
All right, we know his off-season plans now, Vince.
Oh, certainly a lot to be proud of if you're Austin Cindric. And how about this team? The champion, Christopher Bell, has that flag that now they'll put on the wall there at KBM, signifying the championship and raising the trophy at Homestead. Welcome back to Homestead-Miami Speedway, where Christopher Bell is the champion of the 2017 season. Bell finished runner-up tonight. Chase Briscoe was the race winner. More to come with the championship team in a moment. But first, obviously quite a battle here to the finish at Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Camping World Truck Series. And then coming up right after the race broadcast, we're going to go to a fight of another kind. You want to stick around for Premier Boxing Champions. And with more on that, here's Ray Flores.
Premier Boxing Champions has made its way to Flint, Michigan. Anthony Durrell and Dennis Douglin go head-to-head yesterday at the weigh-ins. Things got a bit heated, and tonight they will have an opportunity to settle the score. There you see the tail of the tape for this former super middleweight champion of the world, Anthony Durrell, and Dennis Douglin, who's a contender, will now send it back to Vince in Homestead, Florida. PBC on FS1 comes your way from Flint, Michigan.
Thanks a lot, Ray. We'll look forward to that coming up at the bottom of the hour. There's the men of the hour, Rudy Fugle, the crew chief, and the championship driver, Christopher Bell. Let's check in with one of the other championship 4 contenders. Hermie Sadler is with Matt Crafton.
Thank you, Vince. Matt, you won this thing a couple of times. You come up short tonight. What was the difference?
We just lost forward drive. And at the beginning of the race, I'm like, oh boy, we got something for him tonight. This ain't a rocket ship. About half of that run, started losing a little bit of forward drive. I'm like, okay, we're all right. And then it just managed to keep going away. And we made some pretty significant changes, and it would be okay for a little bit, and then it would just go really, really loose off and just lost a lot of forward drive. But I can't thank everybody back at the shop, Junior, every one of these guys that work on this truck to make this possible. Duke and Rhonda always give me the opportunity to do what I love to do, and sorry to come up a little short.
That's Matt Crafton, two-time champion, but he comes up short tonight in Miami, Vince.
Whatever count him out down the road, though, next year he'll be a contender again. You know he will. But tonight, it belongs to Christopher Bell.
Welcome back to Homestead-Miami Speedway. The champagne corks are off. These guys smell like champagne. And championship-winning crew chief Rudy Fugle joining me now. And Rudy, you've been up on this stage before, different drivers, been part of different championships, but what about Christopher Bell was so special?
Just how much he's grown, you know, from where he started last year. Well, think about it, he started asphalt racing at KBM about three and a half years ago, and that's his first asphalt racing. So to get here this fast, and then just to watch him make mistakes last year, but then just this year just grow and no mistakes, no rookie mistakes. Just proud of him, proud of this team.
5 wins on the season. He drove like a veteran out there. But today, it was all on the line for you guys. Was there a moment in this day that you were nervous?
Well, I mean, qualifying, we, missing the final round. I think that's 3 times maybe this year we've missed the final round. You know, your average qualifying's like 4th, so it's qualifying 13th isn't great. So it's always makes you nervous on what we do wrong. But it worked out. He drove right to the front, and our long run speed was amazing. Our short run speed was pretty good, and it worked out.
Congratulations to you. It is 2-year-old Christopher Bell is your NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. More from Homestead-Miami Speedway after this.
The 2017 Camping World Championship belongs to Christopher Bell and the crew chief Rudy Fugle. Look at the numbers for the season. 13 different race winners, including number 30, Briscoe getting the victory. 12 different pole winners, and the statistics that make up this 23 race season. But tonight it belonged to the 20-year-old from Norman, Oklahoma, Christopher Bell. Was dominant at times.
Start back in the 13th position. Look at it. To the bottom of the track, Briscoe. He had a fast truck.
Yeah, as Rudy Fugle drove straight to the front, then they knew it was going to be okay. And then managing your race, not pushing the time. Ben Rhodes there for a while, and finally Ben Rhodes ran out of fuel. He was running and comfortably like 12 seconds ahead of the closest championship pursuit.
He only led 10 laps to he won stage 1. Good enough. Finished second in the race, secure that championship. So Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe wins the race. We saw that coming. We thought it would come soon, but happy for Briscoe to get that win. Mike, what's a moment that stands out to you this 2017 season?
Race that where Christopher Bell said, I'm taking this season down. He was so dominant there. He drove for the cycle, won every race that he had in it stage. So he came out firing when the season started. He put an open wheel car in his living room, Vince, when he won the Chili Bowl earlier this year. You think a pickup truck will fit in that living room as well?
Maybe it just knocked the wall out. Knocked the wall out. I love the fact that we started with a rookie winning at Daytona with Kaz Grala, and we finished the season with another rookie, Chase Briscoe. What a great crop of young drivers we had here this year, Vince.
Thanks to our producer, Mark Smith, our director, Roger Vincent, for Hermie Sadler, Caitlin Vincey, Parsons.